what it is. Every revolution or every political movement or any kind of change, and having someone, okay, CIA, which is fucking for you to call me CIA when you know I'm not.
Everything was politicized. It was, oh, this is when we became the left versus the right. But both sides are trash. In COVID,
his own thing. So it seems to be that money's the issue, that like we're using money and that's how politics is being pushed. Because now we've seen what someone does when they use their own money and it doesn't seem to be a solution. So I feel like we take money out of politics, we'll have a much better political system.
Politician, you think they're gonna come out and tell me the truth? They was lying to my mama. They ain't gonna never tell us.
So everybody, we look at certain things just because, oh, this happens in the hood or we see this every day. All the way up. These people were speaking truth. King, we could talk X, we could talk it all. They were speaking truth.
What's going on in anyone's mind, but let's take it as a given that Gray's argument is true, that the argument to not have ID is that it would be discriminatory versus certain socioeconomic brackets or something. It's like
the world's greatest trial run of what people will do and what people won't do. And we are the only country on the planet that really fought against the government. A lot of it,
because you focus on 80-20 issues. I'm looking at the Epstein issue as we have 80% of the information we need to prosecute these people that actually did anything, but you're focusing on the 20% trying to take down Donald Trump, which you're never going to get. So I'm going to keep sitting here with a smug-ass face on every single day.
I'll explain. Good question. I'll give you the answer. The Republican Party constantly talks about transgenders and transgender surgery to minors.
I'm mostly on the left, ideologically, but I don't associate with the Democrats because they're not ideologically on the left. The Democrats are clowns, and they're also losers.
About to be any engaging conversation. It's not about to be any discourse about different political ideologies, what works and what doesn't. If that is the outcome, right? For example, I'm not gonna go and just put myself in the middle of a KKK rally.
Verify me, I'm not fucking fed. They always do this. I'll say this, right? But they did the same thing to Nick. We've seen the video. They'll call people who are genuine and authentic feds because
the interesting thing to me is that the ones that claim that they believe the Constitution are now trampling the Constitution. The ones that said they believed in the First Amendment, the freedom of speech, right, are now going against the freedom of speech.
leadership perspective.
They don't have no plan. They don't ever talk about nothing positive about the Democrat Party. Everything is just anti-Trump. They're not willing to have a conversation. They call us fascists. We willing to have a conversation. Charlie Kirk's willing to have a conversation.
President Trump is now saying that Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is in fact dead. Iranian officials are still saying that is not true, even as celebrations appear to be breaking out across Iran. The question now isn't just whether the existing Iranian regime will indeed collapse, but what are the real consequences to the United States? Some warning this could unleash renewed acts of terror against Americans here and abroad. American and Israeli airstrikes hit all across Iran this Saturday on what is the beginning of the work week there. Plumes of smoke rising from the ground across the capital of Tehran, including from the supreme leader Ali Khamenei's compound. President Trump calling the incursion a noble mission.
When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations.
The bombings were celebrated by many in Chicago's Iranian community.
This war did not start now. This war started 47 years ago. What President Trump is doing is ending the war.
Dozens gathering in Daley Plaza this afternoon. Community leaders making it clear they do not want U.S. boots on the ground either, and hope, as President Trump has called for, the Iranians will finish the job themselves.
That's what we're hoping for again, that Iranian people will be able to come back to the street and take over the government.
But will they? University of Chicago professor Robert Pape, the author of Bombing to Win, saying today,
for over a century, air power has tried to topple governments. It has never toppled a government.
This is, in fact, not the first time the United States has called on the people of a country to topple a dictatorial regime, having unsuccessfully used this same tactic in Iraq in 1991, following a 39-day bombing campaign against Saddam Hussein.
They rose up, and Saddam Hussein slaughtered thousands of them in days, and we had to stand by helplessly and watch the bodies pile up in the streets.
The number of people estimated to have been killed by the Iranian regime in recent pro-democracy protests range from a low of 7,000 to more than 30,000. President Trump using this fact, as well as Iran's renewed effort to rebuild its nuclear program, to justify the joint U.S.-Israeli operation. Democratic leaders in Congress today speaking out against the bombing, which was undertaken without legislative approval.
I have no expectations that the regime is going to suddenly find peace and change their ways. I just believe that the Constitution is supreme.
While the administration has said civilians are not being targeted, the Iranian news agency is reporting a girls' elementary school was among those hit this morning, killing around 115 people, most of them students. It is images like these and history itself that lead some to believe that Iran, already described as the world's primary state sponsor of terrorism, could retaliate directly against the United States. Federal officials and local police here in Chicago saying so far that there's no actionable.
Good morning, everyone. Today is Monday, March 2nd, 2026. I'm your girl, Nora Christine, and this is the New Party's Weekend Recap. Lots to discuss today around the world, lots to discuss today in the Middle East. And so today our focus is going to be on what happened over the weekend. I gave you guys a bit of a taste of what happened. And on the early morning hours of February 28th, joint U.S.-Israel strike on Iran. The United States and Israel launched coordinated air and missile strikes on Iranian territory in a major military offensive. Explosions, as you saw, were reported across Tehran, and multiple Iranian cities were a part of the operation. There were conflicting reports. Some said Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei was killed in the strikes. Some said he was alive, but ultimately Iran finally admitted that the Ayatollah and his family was unalived in the strikes. So we do know that. The campaign has been described as Operations Lion Roar by Israeli sources, and the United States, we're calling it here Operation Epic Fury in some reporting. Okay, guys. So a lot has happened. I want to straight get into it. In response to us unaliving Khamenei and his family, Iran has not taken that kindly. Also, we are hearing several key leaders were also killed in those strikes. So much so that President Trump had someone in mind that he wanted to replace Khamenei with, but they were also killed. So, I mean, who's running the show? Clearly the generals still are, because there are bombs launching as we speak. Missiles, bomb warnings are going off across Israel. Kuwait has told we have told our American officials in Kuwait to take cover. So all over the Middle East, they are feeling it. Let's watch this report. This is about Tel Aviv, because Tel Aviv was hit pretty hard over the weekend.
Israelis. I think that's what the calculation now is. Regime preservation. Could you get a more pragmatic figure presiding over this regime? Sure.
Aaron, I just want to break in for a moment because we're looking at live pictures in the air over Tel Aviv, and obviously, as many people know or maybe don't know, there is an Iron Dome that Israel uses as its missile defense system, and we're seeing it working now. But in some places and instances, it does not work, and I believe this is one missile feasibly that has broken through the Iron Dome.
Guys, the Iron Dome has not been Iron Doming this weekend, okay? We have heard that Iran has also hit the defense tracking system that we have in the Middle East. So that has been hit by Iran. Iran got a few good licks. I'm going to break down what has been destroyed. President Trump announced that 9 Iranian naval missiles were destroyed or sunk during the offensive. Satellite images showed significant damage to naval and military bases for Iran. The U.S. military also reported it destroyed the IRGC headquarters and command posts. Iran has responded, like I said, with heavy missile and drone strikes. Israel targeting air raid sirens and some direct hits in populated areas. U.S. military bases have been hit. Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, UAE, Jordan, and Iraq. Our bases have been hit there, guys. The U.S. Fifth Fleet in Bahrain has been taken out. Abdullah Mubarak Naval Base in Kuwait has been taken out. Military bases in Qatar and the UAE have been hit. The Strait of Hormuz, guys, this is how our oil flows, through the Strait of Hormuz. I want you to remember that term. I want you to remember that name. That is key, okay? That we have taken hits there. It's now been shut off. What does that mean for us around America? It means we will be seeing double the price of gas in the coming days, potentially. We will be seeing oil barrel prices go up. Not good, folks. Not good that has been shut down. This has been an unprecedented weekend of attacks. Unprecedented weekend of things that we have not seen. Also, I'm hearing now breaking news. Iranian drone has hit the Aramco oil refinery in Saudi Arabia. So not only has the Strait of Hormuz been hit, we are now hearing reports that our next source of oil, Saudi Arabia, are taking hits. Not good, guys. For sure, we are going to see higher gas prices. It's not a question of when, it's a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Let's watch. This is them taking out the oil refinery in Saudi Arabia. This is first images, guys. You guys are hearing this breaking news here. This came out overnight. So this has just happened a couple of hours ago. Not good, guys. It's not good. Also, another thing, Iranian are using hypersonic missiles. Some people on our team said Iran doesn't have that. That's not true. Iran has hypersonic missiles. How they got them could be from China, could be that they've always had them, but let's watch this clip. These are the hypersonic missiles that have hit Tel Aviv. These are images coming out from Tel Aviv. All the while, Netanyahu has been able to escape. That was the other interesting report. There were rumors.
I think that's what the calculation.
There were rumors from over the weekend that Netanyahu was unalived. Not true, did not happen. However, Netanyahu was trying to make his escape. For 3 or 4 hours, his plane flew over the Israel skyline, the Israel airspace. And finally, a country did take him in. And ironically, he ended up going to Germany nonetheless. So Netanyahu has made his escape to Germany while his citizens are being barraged by missiles because, they're not going to take this lightly, unfortunately. They are not going to take it lightly of what's happening. We heard from our United States leadership, Lindsey Graham, over the weekend. This is what he had to say. Let's watch.
Is President Trump finished the job that President Reagan failed to do? I am a big admirer of Ronald Reagan, but I'm here to tell you that Donald Trump, in my opinion, is the gold standard for Republicans, maybe any president, and when it comes to foreign policy. Maduro, everybody talked about him. Well, Donald Trump's got him in jail. Cuba's next. They're going to fall. This communist dictatorship in Cuba, their days are numbered. The Iranian regime, the mothership of international terrorism, is about to collapse. The captain of the ship, the Ayatollah, is stone cold dead. All is President Trump finished the job that President Reagan failed to do.
So pretty much, you know, we have the warmongers, the war hawks celebrating this. They're saying that it's great what Trump is doing. However, many people are upset this weekend. We have had 3 casualties reported from the United States side. Over 500 people around the globe have been impacted by this, unalived, injured, maimed. So yeah. Somebody in the chat's crashing out. You're a loser. Be quiet. I'm not reporting fake news. This is the news. If you don't like it, you can go scroll up top. This is the news from the weekend. This is what's coming out. Also, guys, we're hearing that several U.S. military aircraft have crashed. I have the exclusive views here. They are now hitting our planes from the sky. It's not good. Okay. Let me show you. This is the first shots coming out about our planes coming from the sky. As you can see here, our service members luckily are alive. They are parachuting out from the fallen aircrafts. Also, there were reports that were coming out stating that the ships that were going through the Strait of Hormuz, that they were having some sort of like weird like signal issue. I don't know if that's the U.S. doing that, because the Strait of Hormuz is only allowing ships from China and Russia to go through. They're not allowing our ships to go through. They're not allowing any other country's ships to go through. So that is interesting in regards to that. Also, guys, first reports are coming out that Iran has hit a base in Turkey. Iran has hit a base in Turkey. Let's watch. Here we go. So this is Turkey. These are images coming out. That is a press from that country. They're filming it. They're seeing that, they're hearing the bombs come in. So Iran is retaliating. So guys, yes. So let's talk about that. There is a rumor. They're saying that there were schools targeted. I'm hearing 2 different reports. The U.S. Israel side is saying that we did not hit the school in Turkey. That was Iran's bomb ricocheting and went back and hitting their school. Who knows what to believe? But supposedly there is a girls' school in Turkey that took the first hit. Over 100 people, including students, primarily students, were unalived, unfortunately. So unfortunately, I'm very sad to hear regarding that there were children unalived. We don't like that. I'm heartbroken. We don't like any war, guys. This today did not need to happen, in my opinion. I feel like diplomacy is always the best. And in fact, our friends around the world, France and Europe, they did not want to join this. They joined this after, I believe, what I think, after they saw the amount of damage we were taking, which in turn will affect their oil supply, okay? I believe that's why they joined in, but they didn't want to help us. And this is images coming out from Bahrain. This is our U.S. Navy base that has been hit. These are images coming out from Bahrain. So, not Turkey, Iran. Yes, I'm sorry. Iran, the little girls. I apologize. Yes. So guys, that's what I believe. I believe they didn't want to help us. I'm not mad at them because this could have been unavoided. Also, guys, we are hearing from the Middle East is upset with us, guys. I'll say this. They have our back. The Middle East has our back. They are anti-Iran, but they're upset about the fact that they feel we're not helping protect them. We are focused on helping Israel. Let's watch this clip. This is where they comment.
الدفاع الأمريكي مركز على إسرائيل.
Nah, that's not in English. My bad, guys. I thought I had it in English, but pretty much they're saying America has abandoned us. That guy that you saw speaking is a Saudi official. He says that they're more focused its defense systems on protecting Israel, leaving the Gulf states that host its military bases at the mercy of Iranian missiles and drones. I don't know how I feel about that, but we're also hearing from Trump. Let's watch this clip. President Trump said,
I want to go now to Congress.
Unfortunately, we are going to see casualties and U.S. soldiers to be unalived. And this is what they're predicting how long it could take.
So Jason Crow, a Democrat who sits on both the House Armed Services as well as the Intelligence Committees, also former Army Ranger. He served in both Iraq and Afghanistan. So, Congressman Crow, I appreciate your time. We've now confirmed that there are 3 U.S. service members killed by an Iranian drone at the U.S. base in Kuwait. We know there's an investigation into how that happened. But what President Trump just told the New York Times, incredibly sobering, he said that Defense Department projections show the number of U.S. casualties, and I want to quote to you, Congressman Crow, could be quite a bit higher than that. What does that say to you?
Oh, I'm furious, Aaron. I'm absolutely furious because Donald Trump is very cavalier with other people's lives. He loves pounding his chest and acting tough and talking about the costs of war. But he knows nothing about the costs of war, nor do his billionaire donors, nor do any of the political elites in the White House that he's surrounded himself with. They are very quick to play with other people's lives and other people's money. Right? They are doing this without debate, without transparency, without any justification. And who is left holding the bag but our service members and the working class in this country?
U.S. intelligence does not back up the argument that Iran was, making progress on ballistic missiles that could hit the United States. So we already know about that inconsistency. But senior administration officials yesterday said something else in addition. Is they said that the U.S. attacked Iran because Iran was planning to strike the U.S. preemptively and pose an imminent threat. They were implying, an imminent threat to U.S. installations in the region, perhaps U.S. bases. But then Pentagon briefers told congressional staff today, so one day later, your staff is told Iran was not planning to strike U.S. forces or bases in the Middle East unless Israel attacked Iran first, which of course it did in this case, and now we're seeing it. So do you think that the people briefing you are, or that are saying these things are just lying? Are they, what's happening here?
So I've heard enough, guys. I just wanted to show you what they're saying. Yeah, and I don't get my information. Everything I'm reading to you guys, I'm reading from people that cover war, people that cover geopolitics. I don't get it all from CNN. I agree with you, they are fake news. I just wanted to show what the conversations are being had. Anyways, we're gonna move on. So pretty much I want to share this screen to you guys. I want to show you guys a map of what the Middle East looks like and a map of the bombings that we saw. This is coming into Iran. Iran has literally bombed like 7 countries. They bombed the UAE, Dubai. Reports came out that they bombed that world famous hotel, El Barrage or something like that they call it. Also, they bombed the airport. Bahrain, our bases have been bombed there. Qatar, our bases have been bombed there. Saudi Arabia, I told you guys this morning, they bombed the oil facility, which is not good news for us. Kuwait, Jordan, and Israel, of course, as you know. So that's just a map. I just want to show you guys what the region looks like so you have a picture of what is happening. It's good to have visuals on everything. It's good to see it because, so you see what the area looks like. Iran has taken hits, guys. I'm not saying that they haven't, but Iran has also given it to us back pretty solidly, unfortunately. We have had casualties. 3 service members have been killed. 5 have been seriously injured. Iran's missiles and drones reached further, impacting secondary cities in Israel beyond initial strikes, civilian infrastructure in Gulf states. As I showed you, there are bombs that Iran has been using that people are saying that they did not have, but they have them. Israel struck Hezbollah. So now we're hearing Hezbollah has now joined in. They are the only, I would say, only entity in the area that is on Iran's side. Al-Qaeda has said that they are staying out of it. They are siding with Israel. They want no parts of what's going on. So Al-Qaeda has said, leave us out of this. We're not involved. But Hezbollah, they said, we got your back, Iran, okay? Israel struck Hezbollah and other proxy targets in Lebanon after Iranian allied forces fired missiles towards Israeli territory. So Beirut has been hit from Israel due to that. Oil markets spiked due to fears of sustained Strait of Hormuz closures. Guys, this is how this is going to directly impact us here in the United States and around the globe. We are going to have higher gas prices. Not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, unfortunately. But hopefully it balances out. Hopefully President Trump and their predictions are correct, that it'll be no more than a week or two. However, I am not hopeful in that regard. I'll be honest with you guys. I do not see it being an easy fight. I do not see this being an easy toppling, unfortunately. We don't even have anyone to run the country. Supposedly, all the senior leadership who we were considering to have take over for Khamenei has been killed. It's not looking good, guys. I'm going to be honest with you. However, I am hearing reports that Iran is asking to speak. So that is the wrinkle in all of this, okay? Also, guys, why it's not good is our missile interceptors, our military supply is low, unfortunately. Because why? Because for the last 3 years, we've been giving away our stockpiles to the Ukraine. That is fact. You can look it up. So these are all negative things. He's dead too, I heard. They said he's not alive. They said all of them are dead. That's what I'm hearing. That's what the report said. But yeah. Well, okay. Well, you show me how it's not true, because I'm hearing that the reports are saying a lot of the senior leadership is dead, including him. So whatever. Anyways, nevertheless, Iran has extended its strikes to Oman and Cyprus as well. In Cyprus, reports indicate attacks against a British military base on the island. I believe I have that clip right here. I'm going to show it to you. Let me show. This is breaking news. This just came out. It's not CNN, so you guys don't have to cry about that, but it's the CBN, and what they're saying is coming out. There we go.
Okay, we want to just bring you some more breaking lines. As I say, it's just going to be one of these shows because there's so many lines coming in to us here at GB News. We're told now that the U.S. Embassy in Kuwait has been struck, it seems, by either missile or drones targeting that facility. Smoke is seen rising from the embassy in Kuwait, with local emergency services now on scene, and reports now, warnings really, that the US Embassy in Kuwait, that there is a continuing threat of missile and unmanned aerial vehicle drone attacks over Kuwait itself. The US Embassy is urging people not to come to the embassy and to take cover. It's a similar situation in so many areas now that are in the line of fire of Iran's drones and missiles. Iran says it's targeting all these neighboring countries because of the fact that they play host to US military bases.
Yeah, reports as well that there is smoke now rising from the US Embassy in Kuwait City. We will try and get some pictures.
Okay, so somebody said, why did they bomb Saudi Arabia? I just gave you the answer, because we are friendly with them and they are mad at the US. So it's that simple. Thank you. Even with research, we maybe get 50% of the truth. The reality is, guys, we don't know what's happening. We're being told this information. I'm giving you information as it's being told to me. And unfortunately, I'm just telling you what's being reported, okay? You guys use your own discernment and you make your own judgment from it. I'm just reporting what I've been told. I'm not making anything up. You don't have to like the facts. The facts are the facts. Like, you can get over it. Anyways, and that's why I play clips, though, so y'all can hear it straight from the horse's mouth. I'm about to play this clip right here, and we can listen to what Lindsey Graham had to say. This is what Lindsey Graham said about how happy they are that Saudi Arabia is joining it.
My belief is when this regime falls,
and new people come along, that we're going to have an historic opportunity to do things in the Mideast that no one has dreamed of in 1,000 years. That if the regime collapses, then I think the likelihood of Saudi Arabia, the center of Islam, the keeper of the holy mosque in Mecca and Medina, I've been there many times, is willing to recognize Israel, the Jewish state, which would be the effective end of the Arab-Israeli conflict. What does it matter to you? How much money have we spent and how many people have lost their lives because we get sucked into this conflict?
So he's saying we should celebrate this, guys, because we keep spending all this money that we've been sucked into. How many people in the chat think that we should have bombed Iran? One's in the chat if you're happy with the United States and what they've done. Two's in the chat if you're saying, F this, this was not our business. One in the chat, you're happy that you're happy with us bombing Iran. Two's in the chat if you're like, this is some BS. Anyways, so moving on. The other thing is, like I said, people were not expecting this range of strength from Iran. They weren't expecting this range of strength in their bombs and the precision of it. People were shocked. I'm not going to lie. I don't think people understood how strong their missiles were. And I don't think that they were expecting the precision. Okay. So also, guys, during last June's war, by the 10th day of fighting, Israel was already running short on interceptors, fuel, and air ammunitions were scarce. Almost all the munitions used in Gaza last year against Iran last year, and again now, have been supplied by who? Who you think supplied it? Us! More than 1,500 airlift sorties and at least 300 cargo ships full. So we are bombing them. So people are happy. All right, guys, we're going to look at the chat. We got some twos. We got some ones. He says he loves the U.S. We got some twos. So yeah, Iran is antiquated. Well, they sure made some good old hits with that antiquated bombs that they have. Anyways, so they're saying that we're already we're going to be short, guys. They've been trying to take out these bombs as much as possible. They've been shooting them off harder and stronger before. I would predict that Iran got some help from some friends. Okay, I do think China is helping Iran. That's what I think is going on right now. Within the next 3 to 4 days, the number of Iranian missile launches, if it's not substantially reduced, unfortunately, we do predict that the munition situation will begin to seriously concern our side with the U.S. and Israel. So yeah, pretty much there are fears of that, guys. Iranian Navy did lose 4 to 5 combat ships. So that is true. That is a positive. That is something that we can look forward to. This is a air and a sea fight from what I've been hearing. They have taken out their ships. So that is a good thing. Trump is my Lord and Savior. Well, you need to go, I don't know, figure that out. That's not good. People are happy. They said 95%. The Iranian people say, thank you, Trump. Thank you, America. Well, I'm happy that you're happy. China can't help, nor Russia. Well, I mean, how did they get these bombs then, guys? I mean, I think that China and Russia is helping them. Let's hear what this Democrat senator had to say, Tammy Duckworth, which her reaction was this weekend.
I'm glad that Khamenei is dead. He ordered the massacre and murder of thousands of people. Protesters are protesting for democracy. My problem with this whole thing is how President Trump has gone about doing this. He promised Americans that he would get us out of forever wars, and yet here he is on his own launching an attack on Iran without congressional oversight when there appears to be no imminent threat. So he's really in violation of the War Powers Act, and frankly, he needs to come to Congress or send his representatives, the Secretary of State, Secretary of Defense, and justify to us why it is that he should have been able to do this. And if there's no justification, then we should have a vote in the Senate.
So the Democrats ain't happy. They never happy. When are they ever happy? Nevertheless, protesters are being pushed by Israel. So that was one thing that happened. But I want to show you guys what the air defense looks like in the sky, because some people are like, you know, I don't even know, like not believing it or something. This is the 8 interceptors that failed to stop the Iranian missile. As we see, this is them trying to stop it. This is what it looks like. This is what the Iron Dome does. This is them trying to stop them. But you see, one still made its way inside of Israel. So I just wanted to show you guys what it looks like and what the interceptors are. Americans are crazy if we think that this will be all we do for Israel. They own us. Well, you know, LaShawn, you ain't that wrong, because I'm hearing after we're done with Iran, the next target is going to be Turkey, who is a member of NATO. So I have a clip of that. I'll play it later. Or maybe you guys can come back Tuesday night and watch the New Party stream. I'll play the clip of what the Israeli member of Congress had to say. He said that after this, he wants us to go after Turkey, because Turkey is their next biggest threat to their recognition in the Middle East. They are concerned that Turkey is going to lead the strong front. Well, that's not what he said. He said Turkey. So to my friend LaShawn's point, if we are doing what they want, that is who you need to keep your eyes on, because that is who will be coming. That's who we will be supporting next. That's where we will be going. That will be our next focus in this. It will be Turkey. That's what I'm hearing. Okay. I don't make the rules. I just share it. But guys, the problem that we need to be concerned about here in the United States are sleeper cells. Let's watch this.
Cells. There are cells in Washington, D.C., all throughout New York City, and the entire state. So many that they say that they cannot identify the cities, just there are them everywhere in the state of New York. San Francisco, California, Santa Clara, California, Los Angeles, California, San Diego, California, Houston, Texas, Arlington, Texas, Dallas, Texas, Boca Raton, Florida, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Orlando, Florida, Tampa, Florida, Boston, Massachusetts, Playfield, Illinois, Chicago, Illinois, Cleveland, Ohio, Laurel, Maryland, Potomac, Maryland, Herdon, Virginia, Springfield, Virginia, Raleigh, North Carolina, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Charlotte, North Carolina, Detroit, Michigan, Columbia, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, Denver, Colorado, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Tucson, Arizona, and Seattle, Washington. List of cities that we'd received from U.S. intelligence. These are the FBI sleeper cell locations where they believe that there are cells in various cities that should be on a heightened state of alert. Now, again, this was back in 2023, but we're seeing all of this coming back now as we're entering into 2026.
And that was filmed on February 12th. But for those of you guys that say I'm lying in the chat, I'm going to prove you wrong. This is what the official said. Hold on. Share my screen. This is what the Israel official said just 2 weeks ago. Okay. All right. So let me shame the devil and tell the truth. Here we go.
A new Turkish threat is emerging. I want to be very clear. Turkey and Qatar have gained influence in Syria, are seeking influence elsewhere and everywhere throughout the region. And from here, I warn, Turkey is the new Iran. Erdogan is sophisticated, dangerous, and he seeks to encircle Israel. And while some senior Israelis were on Qatar's payroll, Qatar and Turkey are nourishing the Islamic Brotherhood monster that is growing and eventually might become as dangerous as the one created by Iran. Turkey and Qatar are gaining influence not only in Syria, but also in Gaza, through the front door, and everywhere, and trying to create a new choke ring. Turkey is trying to flip Saudi Arabia against us and establish a hostile Sunni axis with nuclear Pakistan.
Okay, so I just showed you facts and you over here crying, okay? Truth hurts, facts over feelings. Exactly. So I just showed you what he said. He said, after Iran, we going after Turkey. So if y'all don't like it, that's y'all's fucking problem. The reality is we are owned by a certain country, and this is what they get, what they want. So if you don't like it, go on the fuck on, because I'm showing you facts. Yes, we have bases in Turkey. All of that sounds good. They are also a member of NATO. What has President Trump been hammering on about for weeks? He's been hammering on about getting out of NATO, actually years. He's been hammering on about getting out of NATO. So we get out of NATO, they're no longer our ally. Okay, that's the reality. So I'm curious what's going to happen next. Are we going to get out of NATO and then move on to Turkey? Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. But so y'all don't have to have, yes, Turkey has been helping us. That's why that's crazy what he just said. But he just said their next biggest ally, their next biggest enemy is Turkey. So exactly. Thank you, Captain. So what? So what? Anyways, never mind. We're going to move on. I'm done with the trolls in the chat. Y'all can keep your head in the sand. Y'all can keep y'all head in the sand if you want to, or y'all can wake the fuck up, because this is 2026. And in 2026, the reality is we are being occupied and we are owned right now. And when you finally wake up, you come call me. You come call the new party, because you might not like, yeah, I'm not going to get rage baited, but I'm just frustrated. You know what frustrates me? We really need to wake up. Okay. We really need to look at facts. I need you to look at what's currently being done right now. I don't need you to look at what historically has been done. Okay. We need to look at what the current conditions are right now. The current conditions are right now is this man who's our greatest ally, who's a member of our greatest ally, is saying after Iran, we are looking to Turkey. So that's the facts. I don't care about Cuba. Cuba is a blip on this. We shouldn't have been bombing Iran. We should have sent our troops to go take care of the cartel problem in Mexico. We should have been sending the troops to go take care of the border problem we have in Mexico. Iran, what is Iran? Iran's not our threat. Who's Iran a threat to? Reality. Who do you think Iran is a threat to? It's not us. It's more like Mexico, who's right there, who has a cartel problem, who's allowing people to come through the border. That man doesn't speak for Israel. You are a fool. But anyways, nevertheless, the reality is we have bigger problems here in the United States. That's what everyone's been hollering about, not just me. We don't understand why we had to go do this, because this is not our biggest problem. The Pentagon admits Iran was not preparing to attack the U.S. Here is them admitting that, hey, they weren't preparing to attack the U.S. Another thing that I found out, guys, is that Khamenei, or whatever his name is, he had prostate cancer. So he was going to die in the next few months. But here we go. Let's watch.
Yeah, Caitlin, just like most of the administration's explanations for why now, why was this operation against Iran launched now, this briefing happened in private, but we're told that Pentagon briefers did make a stark acknowledgement, and that was that no, there was no indication that Iran was preparing to preemptively strike U.S. bases in the region in anticipation of some sort of an attack from American and Israeli forces. And that's something that senior administration officials had said on Saturday that they believed was true. And that was something that contributed to the timing of this operation. So raising more questions still, as the president we haven't heard from him about his reasoning, his justification, and his plan going forward as this military operation continues. Yeah, Caitlin, just.
Anyways, so yes, CNN again, stop crying. But nevertheless, he was saying that they, from their intelligence, Iran was not preparing to strike first. So then why did we strike them? Why did we strike them? I don't accept CNN as the Bible. Let me be clear. I was playing the interview clip because I wanted to show what they were admitting to, that, hey, like they weren't going to strike them. So why did we strike them, guys? It doesn't make sense to me. This whole war doesn't make sense to me. Maybe it makes sense to you all in the chat. Please explain it to me. I understand strike those first before they strike you. But if they weren't planning on striking us, what was the point of us striking them? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. But I'm here to learn. I want to learn why we should be happy about this. I'm not happy. Next News Network. Where's that? Send me the link. Exactly. You said it best, Nainer. They haven't been talking about the stuff going down in Mexico in the news because that's our biggest issue that's happening outside our country. That is our biggest issue. Okay. I do agree. I don't see the point of this. Okay. Now I understand that he killed 30,000 of his citizens, and I condemn that. I don't like that at all. But at the same time, why is that the United States problem? Like, I'm not trying to be harsh, but like, why are we putting our boys in harm's way for this? For them to then be killed, for them to then be unalived. I don't know. And I just don't see this going well. I don't see this going in a direction that's beneficial for our United States troops and not putting them at harm's way. We've also taken hits, guys. Do you know how much it's going to cost to rebuild the bases that have been destroyed? Oh, I'm sorry. Hi, Doc. Good morning. Do you know how much it's going to cost to rebuild the bases that have been destroyed? Millions. Okay, millions of dollars. Let me see. So yeah, I'm not excited. I'm not optimistic about this incursion. I'm not excited about regional control. Okay, well, that's a good point. Regional control. We've had regional control. We didn't need to do this. I mean, I will say this, the only positive I could think is supposedly Iran is the funder of the terror cells. Iran, I'm assuming the Ayatollah was the brains of the terror cells. So for that reason, I support it, I guess. They wanted to get him before they were ready, but it was done all wrong. Yeah, I agree with you, Nader. It was done all wrong. They wanted to get him before he got them. Also, people are upset. People are saying there has been a sudden shift. Why are we doing this? Charlie Kirk, who many people look at as a hero, would not have wanted this. This is what Charlie Kirk had to say a few months before he died.
Well, it's just like this war with Iran is a weird fanatical obsession with some people in my party that are here right now. Like Senator Lindsey Graham, and it's insane and it's weird and it's destructive to our own country. And I speak about it both publicly and privately. And you know who also is sympathetic when I'm saying? JD Vance. And so that's a fact.
So he's saying that JD Vance didn't want this either. Oddly enough, people were trolling in the chats this weekend. They said, where's JD Vance? Why is he not speaking? JD Vance has not made a public statement regarding this. So I'm curious, does he support this? People are saying that he might be the voice of reasoning in all of this. I don't know. Have you seen that Epstein predicted that Trump would do this if the files got out? No, where's that at? That's interesting. That wouldn't surprise me. And exactly. Reason why I don't support this, to Captain's point, any place that we've gone to where we've said we're going to go and take over and overthrow the government and the regime is a mess. Libya is a mess. Libya is a mess, but Biden allowed the border to be open. You know, people are talking about Biden in the chat. It's all right. I got to go look at those 2018 emails. I read a good chunk of those emails. They're really depressing to read because it's really gross what these people were doing in those emails. But it's interesting. They said Charlie Kirk would be Charlie Kirk. You know, as you saw in that clip, he was questioning it. He said there's a weird obsession, but this is what his team had to say over the weekend when they streamed talking about it.
He also always did have trust with the president, and he would look for the bright side of things. And he was an American patriot, so he would pray for our success once that began. And I just want to say that to offer perspective on how I think he would have felt about this. And that's not to use Charlie as a shield. That is not to use, say, everything just revolves around him, because he's not with us anymore. But I know people, all of us are feeling the lack of Charlie in a moment like this because he was a natural leader of the movement.
Well, I think that's also, like, as soon as all of this broke out, you saw that social media immediately went to go find Charlie clips, because he still is, even in death, like the leading voice on a matter like this.
Well, and sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and it makes me upset, though, because for these people that didn't actually know Charlie, like Blake, you said it, in private, he would be not happy with the situation, and he would express his thoughts. You would oftentimes see him talk about it on the show, but then as soon as this would happen, he would have trust in the president. He would try to calm people down, and so it's really irritating for me to see so many people on social media have the opposite reaction, to use his voice to actually cause chaos, to actually cause fear of the situation, to actually cause hatred of President Trump in this whole ordeal, when actually that's not what he would want.
Well, and
So yeah, guys, what do you guys think Charlie would have wanted? Yeah, he said that hating Jewish people was brain rot, which I agree with. I don't hate anyone. I love Jewish people. I grew up in Miami, Florida. I love Jewish people. Let me be clear. What I don't like is I don't like certain ideologies that put our troops in harm's way. And I think Charlie probably felt the same way. He got sick of he didn't want to put our troops in harm's way. At the end, Charlie was a hero and fighting for that. He was fighting for our American young boys and women to not be put in harm's way. And J.D. Vance discusses this. This is what J.D. Vance had to say about Charlie Kirk.
Where Charlie Kirk called me, and guys, he was mad. It was one, I wouldn't say the last conversation that I had with him, but it was in the last few months.
You summed this up well, Captain. Yes, this. I don't like religious fanatics of any kind.
Worried that what's going on in the Middle East right now is going to lead the United States into a protracted military conflict. I've never told anybody that Charlie was really worried about that in the final months of his life. Now, here's the thing. Charlie was so effective, and he was so
It's a fair assumption.
by both me and the President of the United States that when Charlie made that phone call, I didn't say, screw you, you don't know what you're talking about. I listened to him. And I really believe that one of the reasons why the President of the United States knocked out the Iranian nuclear facilities, but never got the United States into a protracted military conflict and never lost a single American in a Middle Eastern conflict is because we had the wisdom and the good sense to recognize that the American people are done with American troops dying in unnecessary foreign conflicts. But Charlie Kirk reminded me of that. Charlie Kirk.
Let's be clear. I hate when people say this because now you irritated me again. The reality is this. Yes, when troops sign up, they know they sign up to put their lives at risk. And I'm okay with that. They know that. But what I'm not okay with is the point of them signing up is to serve and protect the United States of America, not the world, not the other countries, the United States interests. They don't sign up to go protect other countries' interests. So to answer your question, as somebody that's had multiple people in her family serve in the armed forces with honor, with integrity, honor, no, we worried about putting them at harm's way when they're not protecting our interests. That's the reality. But anyways, nevertheless, that wasn't the only thing that happened over the weekend, guys. I want to play this clip for you. We had a mass shooting over the weekend, and we're going to get into that. That's our final topic, what happened in Austin, Texas. But this is a summary of what occurred yesterday over the weekend. Here we go.
Here's everything that happened in America today. At least 2 people were killed and 14 injured in an overnight mass shooting in Austin, Texas. Police shot and killed the suspected gunman. Investigators are examining whether recent U.S. strikes on Iran may have influenced the Austin shooting suspect's motive, according to law enforcement sources. For a second straight day, U.S. and Israeli forces continued large-scale operations in Iran, with President Trump claiming 9 Iranian naval ships were destroyed. Pope Leo XIV warned that escalating U.S.-Israel airstrikes on Iran could push the Middle East into an irreparable abyss, urging restraint and renewed diplomatic dialogue. Kamala Harris, Gavin Newsom, Josh Shapiro, and other potential 2028 Democratic contenders criticized Trump's Iran strikes, accusing him of bypassing Congress and risking wider conflict. U.S. Central Command confirmed 3 American service members were killed and 5 seriously wounded during ongoing military operations connected to the Iran conflict. In a CNN interview, Iran's Deputy Foreign Minister, Saeed Khatibzadeh, accused President Trump of crossing a dangerous red line after strikes killed Iran's supreme leader.
So yeah, guys, that was the summary of what happened this weekend. I am going to get into our final story of the morning. It is regarding the mass shooting that happened in Austin, Texas. So March 1st, around 2 a.m. outside of like a pub called Buford's Backyard Beer Garden on West 6th Street in Austin, Texas. There was a mass shooting involving a drive-by and on-foot attack. They said there are 3 people dead, 2 civilian victims, and the shooter. At least 14 people have been wounded and taken to hospitals, with several in critical condition, unfortunately. Austin police confronted and shot the suspect at the scene. The suspect is 53-year-old Nidega Diaji. He's a naturalized U.S. citizen from Senegal. He lived in the Austin area, and they said that on his hoodie, it said property of Allah. Reports indicate that he also wore an undershirt with the Iranian flag imagery of colors on it. There was also a Quran found in his vehicle, okay? So yeah, the suspect drove a large SUV, they said, into the area. He stopped, activated hazard lights, got out the vehicle, and fired a handgun out of the vehicle at people near the bar. After firing from the SUV, he exited and continued shooting on foot with a rifle. Responding officers engaged and fatally shot him within a short time of the first 911 call. So guys, they're saying that, you know, this could be obviously a terrorist connected incident. Was he a lone gunman? What is he sent there? They are still investigating that. So with that, all that being said, please, 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 please be alert. If you're flying, be alert. If you see something, say something, call your local FBI, because we are anticipating further attacks like these. I don't like them, obviously, but we need to be aware of them and we need to be alert. If you're going out, make sure you stay alert. Make sure you don't get too drunk, that you can stay sober. Thank you, Captain. He said, I subbed and liked good content. Yes. And for everyone watching, we are going to wrap up, guys. I'm tired. It's been a long morning. This is very emotional stuff to talk about. I love and support our service members. I love this country. I love and still support our president. I just wish the president would have good discernment with those around him. But nevertheless, come back tonight, guys. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will have our Man Cave panel. We will be covering this again. You will hear more than other people than just me. I won't be here, but I will be hosting tomorrow night. So we do this every Monday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have a panel discussion. We represent all sides from the left to the right and in between. So guys, thank you. God bless. Stay safe and have a nice day.
Before we wrap, I want to take a quick moment to talk about how you can support the new party. We are an independent media platform. No corporate backers, no political handlers, just a collection of voices representing all American viewpoints, especially the stories they don't want you talking about.
I'm disgusted with our government, and it doesn't matter which party you're talking about. I'm disgusted.
We are watching an active genocide. I don't know how else to put it. There are thousands of people getting killed every day.
This is the first time in history that an American cardinal has ever been elevated to pope. It is legitimately make America great again.
Yeah.
Like, they're fighting for illegal immigrants, not immigrants. Illegal. Like, and they burning the flag and shit.
Like I always say, it was a great episode. I'm happy with the wins that Donald Trump's.
Like you heard Nora Skeptic say, we're going to keep bringing like different types of content and things that we know people want to see. And like we always show on the new party, always vote.
If you believe Americans can still have civil discourse, even in these polarizing times, we need your help to stay independent and keep growing. You can support us by donating to our GoFundMe page, becoming a channel member, sending a super chat, or grabbing merch from the New Party store. Every donation goes directly toward growing the channel promotion and our upcoming documentary. And as a thank you, donors will receive an exclusive copy of the documentary 1 week before it premieres. Who is the New Party? We're you, your voice, your stories, your America. We can only do this together. So if you're able, please donate and help us get the message out.